going in the pit really de-stressed me. I was able to let off a lot of steam, let all my anger out about what's going on in the world, about hating my job. I was able to let it all loose, which was really nice. Yeah.
My Nana, when I go to her house, you know what she always asks me? Since I was a little kid, she always says, "Are we having fun?" And I like how she asks, "Are we having fun?" instead of, like, "Are you having fun?" So yes, I'm gonna ask you, are we having fun?
Really what the scene values over anything else is community and taking care of others. It's the spot I go to meet new people. I feel like most people I meet here, I can vibe with, I can chill with. They have a similar way of thinking, and it's also therapy, you know, just getting a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of pressure out. I do enjoy connecting with other people, but I think the scene also represents, you know, a place for community and a place for people who don't feel seen or don't feel like they're being heard, can speak out and talk about how they feel.
Thank you.
The furry scene and the punk scene, there hasn't been much of an overlap, but punk has always been respectful of like gay people, trans people, and furry is not much of a big jump. I think the punk scene's really welcoming and it's a really sort of inclusive space. Even though the pit's a little aggressive, everybody at the end of the day, it's just a pat on the back or a hug. It's all fun.
Hi, we're False Flag. We play in a punk rock band. We've been playing for like, I think about 3 years now. We like to do like DIY shows. We sometimes play venue shows. We kind of do like all of the above. And I feel like I'm speaking for these two as well as, you know, doing things yourself, throwing your own shows, even if that means you don't have a venue space to do it at. You can do it, you know, either on the street or you can do it like at a record store like we're at right now, or Chinese restaurant. Like, you know, there's a lot of different places that you can do shows at.
I mean, we do end up doing a lot of shows here, is where we are right now at the Row House. But sometimes it can be a little rough. It's okay though.
Well, I feel like our favorite spot for doing DIY shows kind of like changes like every year.
It
Because
fluctuates.
the spots get, you know, blown up and then
Yeah.
it's like, gotta go somewhere else.
On stage, we're like standing for something, you know what I mean? And what we're standing for is to build a community of people who feel like they can express themselves and talk about important political issues with other people and spread their own ideas about it. It kind of just turns into like a really big friend group, I guess you would say. But yeah, it's cool. I'll talk about the planning part for the BART show. We just were like looking on the train and figuring out like, okay, if we did a show on here, how would that work?
We post the flyer, and then immediately it gets so many likes, so many views, so many shares, and then within like a few hours, it's like damn near 2,000 likes, which for us at the time was like, what the f***?
We get on the platform and for some reason there was like 500 people and the BART police were like, what the f*** is going on? And I was just like, they tried to talk to us a little bit and I was like, oh yeah, we're like going to like some event, right?
But it was super hard for us to like control the crowd or to like know what was going on at all because we're literally separated by cars that can fit 100 people like at most if you're jam-packed in. There's one dude that even got on top of the BART car.
We got on the train, set up everything hella fast, and then we started playing, and it was so funny because people were like circle pitting and also crowd surfing.
We were planning on playing maybe one song each, and you know, after one band plays a song, the other band goes up like immediately, you know? We ended up playing like 6 songs, which was like unfathomable to us. Like Baden was in the corner like on this jank-ass drum set, like going like this. There's someone that literally like crowd surfed onto us and we had to be like, stop. And then when we were playing, BART Cops came on and I just remember pretty like ducking with her bass behind a chair and being like, cops, cops, cops. And everyone was like, keep playing, keep playing. I wish we could play more like abandoned places, but a lot of the places in SF are either dangerous or inaccessible or you get arrested.
First of all, the reason why we play so many DIY shows is because there's not a lot of venues or spaces for us to play in the city. That's first of all. Second of all, the problem is when we play DIY shows, we get heavily ticketed. So I don't understand why we're getting like, $600 fine for this, and it's been more. They've tried to ticket us more in the past, and I just don't understand it.
You can show up to any sort of DIY show or any show in general and be able to find a space for your own and the people that you like and the community that you want to create.
What I am and what I do is I make music. I play guitar and drums, more than drums, bass, keyboard, and I sing and try to mix most of my music, but some of my friends help me. I record music in my room because it's convenient. I don't have to leave my house, and everything else I could ever want is in here, and it's just right here, and I know how to do most of the things. I don't need an engineer or anything. My favorite form of media is definitely cassette. I have a 4-track that I use sometimes when I'm like post-production. But yeah, I usually record onto my computer though, using Logic. Traditionally, like you record your music onto cassettes. I mean, I didn't like make the songs to intentionally like have cassettes of them. It's just like to distribute your music. You just, you have it in physical media like CDs, cassettes, what have you. Yeah, I have a big say in like how I want things. I would say the biggest say in how things I want them to sound. And I write all my songs. I write all the lyrics. I write all the parts. When I can't play them the way I want them to, I have Jesse do it because he knows a lot more about drums and bass than I do. The DIY scene is at its core political in the face of so much evil and up shit. There has to be some sort of resilience, and like joy is a form of retaliation. Fight back in whatever way or form.
A zine, it's an abbreviation of the word magazine, and sometimes people mispronounce it as zine, but if you just think of it as cutting the word magazine short, that's what it is. It's usually a handmade publication that's printed independently, like not through a major publisher, and sometimes they're referred to as fanzines, so you can make them about really anything that you're interested in, and they've got the strong footing in the DIY music and skateboarding community. My zine's called Grit. I created that zine after kind of a rough part of my life where I felt like I didn't have a lot of creative opportunities anymore, or a lot of people to support a goal that I'd had for a long time, which was sort of combining the skateboarding and the hardcore music communities as best as I could. And it's also something that I look for in my interviews. I will prioritize people that have made their own path and really push their own independence throughout, hardships or lack of interest or things like that. As I explored graphic design and art and especially music more, zines just became one of the forms of media, like physical media, that I would come across and interact with. I believe strongly in not letting other people's thoughts or values influence your own. I think that DIY involves self-expression when it comes to clothing. I work alone for my zine. The project is entirely managed by me, which is what I intended it to be, but it is also pretty stressful at times. I've been lucky to have a great crew of friends that have been supporting me in terms of brainstorming for it, coming to my shows, even helping me print stuff out if I'm behind, so I definitely have had a really strong support team. I really didn't think that people would pay attention to it at all, so even just the smallest amount of feedback has been amazing. Zine making not only connected me to a community that already existed, but it gave me the power to create my own scene, basically. And that's a really amazing thing that can be done if you have a band or an art project or a zine, any form of expression like that where you can put your 2 cents out and then people gravitate towards it. I just want the scene to keep growing in that way where everyone is expressing themselves as much as possible. I print them in my bedroom, which is hellish, and then I sell them at my release shows, which also can be hellish. I have them stocked in a few local shops. I kind of prefer being able to like hand my zine to somebody in person and like make a connection with them and like make friends with them. Like I think that's sick. And like all of my friends have a copy of my zines. DIY is, I mean, it stands for do it yourself. To me, that means making a stand. That's like the true spirit of DIY, is having like full control, full freedom, like putting yourself out there exactly how you want to. Nobody's telling me what to do with my zine. Nobody else is involved. I have no obligations to any brand or corporation or person or publisher or anything. And I just get to do whatever I want. And that is what I want to do in life. And the zine is just the embodiment of that. So I'm happy to put it out. So the best thing that you can do for yourself and for any kind of scene that you want to build is to be as authentic as you possibly can. The advice I give to anyone who wants to make their own zine is, I mean, it's advice I've given to my own friends who have wanted to start zines, or any project in general, or a band, or, you know, whatever they want to do. Like, you just need to do it. Like, just put it out. It doesn't matter if it's absolutely ass. I'll like sit at 2 a.m. and have like kook flashbacks of like dumb shit I put in my zine or like did with my band, like whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, it's the most important thing is that you put it out there and just like stay as true to yourself as possible. So that's my advice. It's always a good day to make something. Start as early as you can with it being authentic, and then just like prioritize putting something out. Like, I have every issue, I have a music review section of like local like punk bands and albums that I like. And I think I write in both of them, it says like, stop complaining about the scene, or just do something about it yourself. I hate when there's complaints and then there's no action after. I can't stand when people complain about music sucking or the scene being bad or skating being shitty or whatever, and then they don't do anything about it. You know, the scene it's a DIY scene. That means yourself. That means you do it. Not somebody else does it. That means if you have a problem, then you have to fix it. But really the core of it is like, I want to like be present like in the community, and I want to be present in both, because I've spent years in the punk scene, and then I've spent the last year more in the skate scene, and now I need to start integrating into both of them again more. So I want to be as present as possible. I want people to like see what I have to say, you know, even more, whether that's like reading my zine or like going to one of my shows or being interviewed. And I want to make as many things as I possibly can. I want to make as many issues as I possibly can. I have, you know, been trying to figure out a way to, like, I don't know, it's sort of ahead of things, but I thought of different ways for the zine to be physically, whether it's going to be like a proper magazine or just like bigger or a different shape or with like photos properly. But just, you know, just figuring it out as I go, because the first two issues are definitely not perfect. Like I said, like I need to work out a lot of things, but I'm really proud of it, and I just want it to keep pushing towards representing what I stand for as much as possible, and just keep you know, throwing as many sick parties and things that bring people together as I can. So a show for the magazine, it's a release party. I usually book like 4 or 5 bands for it, and I've also had shows that were not tied to a release before. That were just for the sake of having that lineup, basically. Combining all of the facets of the scene that I think are cool. So there's, you know, like I said before, there's art, music, skateboarding, DIY as in like building, like skate DIY, you know, building setups, people that set up their own venues, like anything in that realm, and people that combine all those things I respect a lot, and I want to highlight them. Hey kids, this is how to screw over young people. Number 1, book a young band for your old person bar show to grab that fresh crowd. Number 2, make them open. Number 3, charge $25 for tickets because the headliners played CBGBs at one time. Number 4, make sure the other bands playing have an irritating vocalist that puts their foot on the amp when they sing, like they're on Plymouth Rock or something. Give them a big cut just for that. Maybe they can use the money on a needle and thread so they can actually attach their patches properly. Your problem is avoid paying the openers at all costs. And your solution is to pay them in drink tickets that none of them can use because none of them are 21 and half of them are sober.
Our house is a small group of people, a lot of like friends help out with stuff, but we book events and shows and just like things. We just like to have fun, to be honest, and like there's a lot of downers in the world, like a lot of like things to be upset about. And so we just like to kind of make life a little bit more enjoyable if we can by like booking these like strange happenings and like just kind of disrupting the daily life. My process for booking shows, like it can be really stressful, and it's all like a labor of love because like we're not getting paid for it, because you have to work with the venue, you have to work with the bands, you have to work with people messaging you.
Instagram has been a like core way of communicating flyers, especially with like a lot of the laws in San Francisco with flyering and like that being kind of a finicky sort of way of promoting. But I think a good place to start if you're comfortable with using Instagram is the Outhouse SF Instagram.
2 years ago, we did a hot dog eating contest for Valentine's Day. We did it at abandoned 7-Eleven gas station. It was burned down and it was raining, but we were underneath the gas station like covering, and we did like hot dog eating contest and live music and yeah, just doing fun stuff like that, and just being like, let's just be silly and let's have fun and bring people together just to let loose and just like be funny and make it less serious.
I feel like kind of tapping into the things that you are really passionate about and doing it anyway, even though everything else in the world is telling you that that's not going to make you money or that's not going to get you anywhere in life. Being able to be a part as like a witness and as like a member of Outhouse and just the sort of energy that sort of thing brings, I feel like has only made me feel so capable as a person and so like able to do whatever my heart wants.
What we're doing, what everybody kind of is doing right now, has come from a long history of DIY and inspiring and being inspired by other people, and like feeling capable enough to do it yourself. DIY is just a big group effort of like awesomeness.
My advice for anyone who is curious about being part of their local DIY scene is to not be afraid to just go to the show or go to the event. Even if you go alone, it's okay.
Don't waste any time wondering what it's like, you know?
There you go.
Just go. And if you don't like how it's going, then find that courage in yourself to make it happen and make your vision happen. There's something so addicting about going to shows and getting to know people and feeling less alone. And I would say that's always been something that is the gift that keeps giving from going to DIY shows, is the reminder that you're not alone.
This is a Big Horse by Wet Ramos.